on, Foxy. It's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Moana Nui podcast. I have my two co-hosts for tonight's episode. I have James and Furious that are going to be co-hosting with me today as we talk about Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo. For those that may or may not that are joining us for the first time, James, quick introduction of yourself.
I'm James. About me. I'm a nerd of all facets. I consider myself a jack of all trades, specialty of none. I like a little bit of literally everything: comics, anime, movies, manga, sci-fi, fantasy, all of it. So I am willing to talk about any and everything, primarily animation though. So that's my wheelhouse.
And Furious, introduce yourself.
I am Furious, and yes, that is what I am claiming as my government name. I am a nerd. I'm somewhat similar to James. I am a nerd, jack of all trades. But if I had to pick my number one, it's going to be a tie between video games and science fiction. And then everything else falls into line after that.
Nice. Well, we are very excited to be talking about Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. First, we're going to be introducing Mr. Tony Cade. He opened his first comic book and gaming shop in 1994, and it continues to thrive today. In 2002, he co-founded Terminus Media, which specializes in creating graphic novels and animation for clients. And in 2014, he launched the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo, a free family-friendly event that celebrates pop culture. And the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo is set to return to the North Lake Mall on March 15th through the 16th this year. So welcome, Tony.
How y'all doing this evening?
Great. Glad to have you with us. And next, we're going to introduce another person that is joining our show. We have B. Cunningham cosplay. She is an amazing cosplayer who makes everything from, creative shoes all the way to wings, everything. And she just got back from competing in a international competition. So kudos to her to make it to the international stage. So we'd like to welcome B. Cunningham cosplay with us today.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome.
All right. James, I'll let you go ahead and kick it off first.
Tony, so as someone who has patroned your shop, this is something I've always wondered, because you come from an era that is so, I'm not trying to talk about your age in any way negatively, but you come from an era of sci-fi where we literally had very little. Mm-hmm. You grew up in an era in which everything was on one of three channels some 30, 40 years ago to now where we are oversaturated across the entire nerddom zeitgeist, if you will, where we can find anything, anytime, at a moment's notice. How is it dealing with a lot of your patronage who pretty much are from a demographic where they have access to everything all at once, and discussing with them things that they may be interested in that they probably never heard of because they weren't born yet?
Well, that's the great thing and stuff about everything being on the internet now, that they can basically pull up and stream whatever they want. I used to think that I, was a Godzilla fan, right? Because I've seen all of the translated Godzilla movies going back, to the 70s and the reruns of all of them, but then I quickly get reminded by customers, it's like, no, you're not a Godzilla fan. And they start bringing up information that I didn't even think I wanted to know, So, my customers remind me that as much as a well-rounded nerd I think I am, that I'm nowhere near on their level. As I was mentioning earlier and stuff before we went on, I actually have to go home and watch anime so that I can try to keep up with the conversations that my customers are having in the shop and figure out what products they're going to ask for before they ask for them.
Yeah, that
and
is true.
And like I said, I've got no problem and stuff. It's like, yeah, I've been doing this for 30 years now, and I thought that me and my buddies and stuff back when we were collecting comic books and playing chess, we thought we were nerds, until then we got exposed, to stuff like Dungeons and Dragons, from the and we're like a bunch of hood kids. We're like, what's a Dungeons and Dragons? And then of course back in was it the late 80s, I attended my first Atlanta Fantasy Fair here in Atlanta. And of course I couldn't afford to go, but at that time I'd already started dabbling in photography. So I was able to get on as staff, be staff photographer. And then that's when I really found out all the nerdom that I knew nothing about. And going to stuff like, Fantasy Fair, Dragon Con, when I could basically count, all the black folks on my fingers, and half of us all knew each other, and now I look at the thousands of us that show up at these shows, and it's like a completely different world.
Right. Okay.
Now, of course, Tony, for those that are learning about Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo for the first time tonight, what made you create Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo?
Well, even, through the whole process and stuff of having the shop, I've always wanted to increase community. All right. As I was saying and stuff, as a kid in the hood and stuff back in the 80s, there was so much stuff that, we didn't know about and we didn't have any access to. And, even when I started had my shop off on Memorial Drive, there's a whole bunch of 40-year-old kids 40-year-old men now who come up to me, talking about how, I exposed them to these many things and kept them off the streets. So the shop has always been about, community and putting groups together so that they can explore, what their different interests are. And, that's pretty much the same thing, that I want to do or have been doing, with the Expo. It's it was originally one of those things and stuff of I was hanging out with two guys and stuff that were already running, shows here in Atlanta. And I was like, well, if these guys can do a show, I think I can do a show. And I'm going to do one that, isn't cost prohibitive. As I said and stuff, I had to be a staff photographer to be able to afford to go to my first multimedia convention. I wanted to have something where, people without, deep pockets or people without having to go into debt, could come, meet vendors, attend panels, enjoy, photo sessions in their costumes and not have to pay a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much how the idea of the Atlanta Fantasy Fair started up.
Awesome. Let's see. Furious, do you have have a question?
One thing I'd like to ask Tony, earlier you mentioned having to go home and watch anime as your homework so that you can keep up with your customers. You've been in this nerdistry is what I'm going to call it, not industry, but you've been in this nerdistry for a while. What would you say has been the largest shift that you have noticed? And you can apply that to whatever aspect of the nerdistry that you want to.
Okay. Well, everything and stuff has had it's boom periods. Let's go, of course, let's start off with anime. All right. When I first started watching, anime, we didn't even know it was anime. we just thought they were like cool cartoons, that came on in the afternoon. As I said, I'm so old that I remember watching, Astro Boy in black and white on a black and white TV. All right. And, when I was in high school, we were watching stuff like Battle of the Planets, Star Blazers, all right, Robotech. We didn't know we were watching anime. We just thought they were cool cartoons. All right. And then later on and stuff, we started getting exposed to stuff like Ninja Scroll, and people started throwing around the words like anime. And that's when we started realizing that there was something different that we hadn't been exposed to. Like I used to watch Battle of the Planets, and then, I went to a convention, and this guy was like, hey, there's a bunch of people, we're about to go watch Gatchaman. And I'm like, what's Gatchaman? Oh man, it's really cool, you should go see it. So I go in and stuff, and I'm like, oh, well, this is Battle of the Planets. And then I watched some of the footage uncut, and I'm like, oh my, this is a lot more violent than anything they ever showed us on TV. It's like they're using, the blades are coming out of the yo-yos, and they're sticking them in people's heads, and they're slitting people's throats. And I'm just like, okay, this is completely different, So I'm like, I need to see some more of this stuff, uncut, in its original format. I've got no problem. I'm a good reader. Show me those subs, And then, of course, later on with like the Cartoon Network, we got Dragon Ball Z. And then all of a sudden, it didn't matter how much hood you thought you were watching Dragon Ball Z, and you were becoming a fan. And all of a sudden, the world started to open up. It's like one of the things and stuff that I noticed and stuff is like, it was basically Dragon Ball Z and Star Trek The Next Generation that started exposing so many people that thought they were too cool for sci-fi and anime. Those two things just opened up everyone's world. And then people started becoming, fans. And then, of course, slowly but surely at the conventions, there were like more women getting into the fandom. And then as soon as the guys saw that the women were going to fandom, they're like, well, hey, I can go to a con, and they're not going to think I'm weird, so I'm going to go to the con. And then all of a sudden, it just starts growing. It's like the club. How the clubs do? They let the women in for free, so they know the dude's going to pay to come in. Yeah. That's the way it worked at the cons. The women started showing up, and the guys noticed them showing up, and they're like, oh, well, I can go to this, and I can talk about Dragon Ball Z, and she going to look at me like I'm funny. So guess what? I'm going to the con.
Straight facts.
So, yes. James, question from you.
So now, like, I can identify with what he's saying as far as like Gatchaman and Battle of the Planets, because in the 80s we grew up watching Voltron. Robotech came on in the mornings, at least when I grew up in the DC area. It was on in the mornings before I went to school, but in the afternoons I catch Voltron and Transformers, sometimes back to back, not knowing that Transformers was a US-Japanese collaboration. And then like some 30 years later, pretty much early 2000s, I watched the original Go Lion, and looking at it like, with the same reaction you had. They didn't show all this, the cannibalism, the decapitations, the beheadings, the bloody gladiatorial events, major characters who die. Space hospitals are not real, people. So things of that nature. So yeah, I definitely get that. With the convention that you have going on now, pretty much over a decade, you talk about the sense of community. Are you seeing a lot of interaction as far as giving back people who like you can, vendors and people that you can lean on to show up every single year to help put the event on or sustain the event year in and year out? Like, what are those relationships like as far as, getting artists or cosplayers or writers to show up and either, vend their own goods or just help with the setup of the event? How has that process been?
Like I said, it's been pretty good and stuff. From the very first time we did the very first show, I had vendors coming to me afterwards who were like, hey, can you do another one of these in 6 months? And I'm like, no, I can't do another one of these in 6 months. It's like, you guys have no idea how much work it takes to do something like this. And see, as I said before, I did the show to see if I could do a show,
Right.
because I was like, if those guys can do a show, I can do a show. And then we were having like our after show meeting, and my staff was like, oh man, I can't wait to see what we do next year. And I was like, next year? And then of course they all look at me and they're like, yeah, next year. And it's like, a whole bunch of you guys know Tanya Woods. Okay. If Tanya gives you that look of like, yeah, next year, what does that mean?
Next
You're
year.
doing one next year. Okay. And so that's basically and stuff how we started, doing the process of trying to do one, once a year. Now, unfortunately, the last show we had planned was going to be like our biggest show ever.
Yes.
And then this little thing called COVID popped up.
Yeah,
because we usually have the show, the second weekend of March.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we started doing later on, the second weekend of March. And of course, basically COVID hit that first week of March. All right. And then we had, conflicting information and stuff about how bad things were really going, because, a whole bunch of political stuff was going on. But fortunately for us, we had a lot of people that were on staff who actually worked for the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. And they were telling us just how bad things were and how bad things were going to get. So, I had to make the hard choice of, at the time, postponing the show, from that March date, and trying to reschedule and bring it back later on that year in November. Because we were all hoping that this little outbreak would just take a few months, to blow over, not realizing it was going to be a few years to blow over. So that's why we had to put the whole, show on hiatus. And then of course, by that time, things had gotten to the point and stuff where, a lot of businesses over at North Cade Mall had went out of business. I was fortunate enough that with the shop, we were able to go ahead and set up an online presence, and we were still able to do business because I was basically able to, ship product out. I hooked up with a couple of Uber drivers, and we had them making deliveries to people, so I was able to, weather the storm, of COVID. But even when we came back out of that, we were to the point where at that point, North Cade Mall had gone through like a couple of different ownerships, and basically had decided to completely shut down the interior of the mall. So I wasn't able to, bring the show back at that point. And then of course it was the whole thing of like, okay, now we're going to tear down the mall. And my number one priority is like, where is Challenges Games and Comics going to go? But we wound up here at Northlake Mall, and now we're like a year and a half into this location, and people have been repeatedly asking me, when you bring it back to show, when you bring it back to show. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be in charge of running the show. But I got talked into, volunteering and helping with another show that was trying to, get started here in Atlanta. And as some of you know, it didn't quite happen.
Yes.
All right. Which only made things more pressure to me, because people even more so was like, Tony, you need to bring the show back. And so then, of course, I hit up a couple of people who had worked with me before, like Tanya, and, I hit up, Renee Cooper. You guys know her, because she had been really helpful with it. Of course, she was like a little bit busy and stuff through that whole marriage thing, so she couldn't make any commitments. So we started like reaching out, to a few other people, and we're like, hey, this is what I want to do. If you guys really want me to do the show, I'm gonna need your help.
Yeah.
And I basically put out a call to basically everybody who had basically said, hey, you should do the show. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do the show. I need y'all to come on in and help do it. And that's where we are now.
Nice. Now, with that call, of course, you end up getting B. Cunningham cosplay to be part of the team. B. Cunningham, what made you decide to join being part of the staff for Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo, and what will be your duties for the convention?
So for the convention, I am actually the ball committee chair for the Interdimensional Ball, which is our ticketed event because Tony and a few others have decided to turn ASFE into a 501c3. And with that being a nonprofit, we decided why not have a charitable gala type event, i.e. the Interdimensional Ball, hosted by the Intergalactic Interorbital Council, allowing us to celebrate the inauguration of our new galactic emperor and empress, which is part of our contest. Hence why people should show up. They probably should get a little bit more information about this, shouldn't they, huh?
Yeah.
But yes, so step into the extraordinary at the Interdimensional Ball. This is the annual event held by the Intergalactic Interorbital Council to celebrate the inauguration of their new galactic emperor and empress. You'll enjoy delightful cuisine along with the wonderful cosmic tunes of Atlanta-based producer DJ Quirkless Wonder on March is it the 16th, Tony? The 16th is the Saturday, yes?
No, the 16th is Sunday. The 15th is
15th.
Saturday.
It is the 15th at 7 o'clock from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tickets are currently on sale. Please let it be known that full dinner is for VIP only. There will be small bites. So if you do decide to do general admission, get there early. And we also do offer a couple special for, just in case you decide to bring that special someone, you want to be a little bit late on Valentine's, but you don't want to be completely in the doghouse for the rest of the month. You should probably go for that couple special and get those couple VIP tickets. Give her dinner, give her some photos, let her take pictures and just dance the night away. She'll forgive you, I promise. Or him, or them. One of the three.
Well, and don't forget and stuff for some of the deals and stuff we've got for the Interdimensional Ball. All right, all
yes.
of our vendors get free entry into the ball.
Oh,
All right, and anybody and stuff that reserves a room at the Northlake Doubletree Hilton, yes, gets free entry.
General admission again. VIP is good.
Yes, and we worked out a really good deal too. It's going to be $130 a night, and you can get like a double king or double queen. But for everybody, because they know how con goers work, for everybody that you say is registered in that room, you're going to get a free breakfast. And I'm not talking about an intercontinental breakfast where they offer you some cereal and some waffles. I'm talking about Americana breakfast.
Okay.
We're talking about your meat, your eggs, your cheeses, your yogurts, your juices, everything. And of course, this being in the South, you got to have your grits and your oatmeal.
I mean, I might just do it for the bacon.
All the good food. That way, once you tire yourself and tuck yourself out, you can refresh yourself the next morning.
Because people are asking us like, well, the expo was cool, but when we go to these bigger shows, they have nighttime activities. So I'm like, okay, y'all want nighttime activities? Here are your nighttime activities. Unfortunately, I don't have deep pockets and I can't pay for the nighttime activities. Mm-hmm. So I need you guys to like pitch in for the nighttime activities. I've signed the contract and paid the deposit, but I need y'all to like come on in and like help out.
We'll feed you.
There you go.
Nice. Glad to hear it. Glad to see it.
Furious question. Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead, Furious. Yeah.
No. Go ahead, James. I need to think about what my next one was going to be. So you go ahead.
Oh, now I'm scared.
I know, Tony. Me too. Who knows? Who knows who this question is going to be directed towards?
Don't be scared. He's just thinking. It's when he starts acting that you should be worried.
No. We're going to start with thinking because that's how it starts. That is how it starts, sir. No. I'm already afraid. Preemptive fear.
B. Cunningham. So you mentioned the ball and the inaugural crowning of the Emperor and Empress.
Yes.
Will you be participating in said competition, considering your cosplay background?
No, I will not. I am hosting that. That is a conflict of interest, sir. Because because part of the problem is we already know I'm probably going to outdress almost anyone there. So no,
Oops.
I will not be participating in this. I will crown, but I will not be participating.
Well, pearls clutched. Excuse me.
I mean,
I
don't
think
get
you
me
just threw a
wrong. Do
gauntlet
not
down.
get me wrong. I will be absolutely stunning when I show up, as I always am. But no, it's not fair if I participate.
I'm glad to see that you're humble and modest about this.
Most of the time. It doesn't get you anywhere. They lied to us.
Why are we
What is that, sir?
Mjolnir? I'm trying to figure out why he's brandishing.
And you told me I
Mjolnir.
wasn't supposed to be afraid.
Go ahead, Furious.
So what I would like to throw out is, for as long as each of you has been doing and participating within this community, you've seen a plethora of things, of people. What has been the most unique aspect of our community that you all have had the pleasure of experiencing?
To me, honestly, just seeing the creativity that people can come with when it comes to costumes and cosplay, especially when it comes to construction. Like, people get really, really creative when it comes to construction, i.e. when people are using Warbler. Like, one of the champions from last year actually learned how to successfully electroplate Warbler. And we know Warbler is essentially plastic. You should not be able to electroplate something like that.
Oh, wow.
Say that's the most unique thing to me, is the different methods and such that people come up with to make their costumes and cosplays look as either as realistic or as creative as possible. And that has always been the most unique and always my favorite thing when it comes to this community.
Mm-hmm.
And I would.
Well, my thing and stuff is just, taking a look at how much cosplay has become a big part of our community events.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I remember stuff where there were only like a niche few people, that would, don the costumes and create the costumes. Now people almost feel like I can't show up at an event unless I'm in costume. And, I remember stuff, my one and only time, doing a costume was when the first Blade movie came out. All right. And so I was like, okay,
With that super flawless box haircut.
I was ready for it, So, and so basically and stuff is like, after the movie came out and stuff, I took some Wesley Snipes photos. All right. And I showed them to my barber of the haircut. And then I had an artist friend of mine, take the little mascara pen and do the designs in the head. And so I went and got my flak jacket, had the, the boots and the whole outfit and everything. Of course, I was a lot trimmer back then, And so I went to the con and stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm ready. And then I realized that I wasn't ready, because I'm used to being at the convention, going and hitting whatever panels I want to, have my list together and beeline into whatever I wanted to see.
Oh, they weren't
You
stopping
cannot
you
do
like
that.
every 5 steps, were they?
And exactly what I was going to say. Every 5 steps, somebody was
How I know.
stopping me to take a photograph. Okay. And then I realized that I am not that person. Okay. It's like, I didn't think I was shy, but I'm not the extrovert that I think a lot of people need to be when they're in costume.
Yeah.
And I, like, to this day, have only cosplayed that one time because I realized that you have to, be able to like attention when you're in costume, because when you're at a show and you have a nice costume, people are going to stop you.
Yeah.
And if you have a fantastic costume, you're basically stuck, in the Hilton lobby, and you're never leaving because people are lined up to take photographs of you.
Yeah.
That's one of the things and stuff with the expo, because I know, like, with Dragon Con, everybody likes to, like, pose in their groups back there on the Hilton stairs, where it just so happens that where we're going to be doing our cosplay showcase here inside the mall, we've got some really nice stairs that are lit and padded and everything, which are going to be perfect for people to do their cosplay shoots on. And the great thing about it is indoors, so we got a little climate control.
Yeah.
So if your costume's like heavy, you ain't got to worry about the sun beaming down on you. If it's made out of cardboard, you don't have to worry about it getting wet. But that's one of the things and stuff we wanted to make sure we did with this show, is that we want to be cosplay friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got it where it's like there's cosplay panels, there's the fashion show, there's the costume contest, and we're doing the ball. So we're giving everybody who's in the cosplay, the knowledge of this is where you need to be on March 15th and 16th.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that part, the cosplay and the attention, because one year I just wore a Tri-Lam sweater, and everyone I want to take a photo of literally said, put your phone away and get over here and take a photo with me. Like, no, I just want to take a photo of you. I'm just a fan of the Tri-Lams. I just, like, no, get up. Like, yeah, you gotta like that attention.
Get in that picture.
I mean, they were all cute, so I did what I was told.
See, this is why we have this issue of cosplay. It's not consent. If you don't want to do it, just don't do it. Say no. You making it hard for the rest of us. You have any idea how many times I have been in a cosplay and I have told this person no like 3 or 4 times, but they are quite insistent. Like, case in point, I will never forget when I first premiered Carnival Poison Ivy. Yeah, that which still seems to be quite the crowd favorite.
Yeah,
I kid you not. I'm walking down the street. I'm standing in front of the corner bakery. This man's son, not him, this man's son walks up to me, grabs me around my waist, and is like, "Hi." Like, kid, first of all, sweetie, how old are you? Wait a minute. How old are you?
Oh, wow.
Your dad said it was okay. You just run up to random women and just go around their waist. And it's like, hey, is this the game that your father taught you? No, sweetie. No. Let's try this again. So, see, you're making it hard for the rest of us. Stop it.
I have. It was just that one year. But no, cosplay consent. Look, if people say no, not right now, I try to catch them later. So, I am all for, if they have the 3 seconds for me to pop off 5 clicks of my phone, cool. If not, I will catch you at the photo shoot later, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. It is much appreciated.
So for Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo, of course, the Intergalactic Ball is something new you're bringing this year. What else can people expect from, guests to content that makes Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo stand out compared to other conventions?
We're free.
We need more than just free, Tony. I mean, don't get me wrong. Free is great. That's like, free is great, but that's also saying, I mean, it's
what she said, what makes it stand out.
Yeah.
And to me, the number one reason it stands out is that it's free.
Again, yes.
What will make people want to come even though it's free?
Thank you. Thank you, Nana.
Hold on. I think I mentioned the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the photo shoots. I mentioned the panels. I mentioned, did I mention we're going to have like probably like 50 some vendors like we always have?
Ding, 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 ding,
You
ding,
know?
ding, ding.
You know, it's like, you know, we bring, you know, the whole package. You know, the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo, our previous shows have been bigger than shows that people have to pay for in this town. All right, and yes, we like to, we got a few guests, you know, and there's more people and stuff that I'm not gonna, you know, announce yet that are talking to us about coming. But also, remember, by being a free show, I'm also not paying for somebody to fly first class here to Atlanta. I'm not paying for nobody's hotel room, and I'm definitely not paying somebody's $2,000-$3,000 autograph guarantee. You know, which, like I said, I let people know my stuff. Anytime you want to get out there and stuff and try to do your own media convention, these are the things that get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like, you know, fly people in.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put up them in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to guarantee that they're going to make a certain amount of money.
Mm.
Okay. And those are things that can get you in serious trouble, especially if you're trying to sell tickets to help pay for these things. Luckily, with the expo, all of the money and stuff that's basically, you know, for producing the show, it's basically coming from, you know, Challenges, Games, and Comics and our vendors, you know, for the 2-day
sponsors if they
period.
so choose. Do not rule out the sponsors, sir.
I'm still waiting for those sponsors. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. You know,
If you're interested in sponsoring,
Please contact Kimiko or info at AtlantaSciFiExpo.com.
yes. You know, we have a sponsors page, and we say, you know, we've even got, you know, the Cab County that says they're going to help us, and the city of Tucker says they're going to help us. But no one's cut me any checks yet. Okay. Oh. All right. So, you know, I'm one of those people and stuff. You know, it was like when I bought my house. You know, I was, you know, staying with a young lady, and she was saying, "Oh, well, with your income and my income, we can get this much house." And then I was like, "Yeah, but I can get this much house with my payroll, and even if I have to go work at McDonald's, I can pay for this. So guess what I'm getting? This."
There you go.
So that's the way I look at the expo. Okay, I'm not committing to nothing that I know that I cannot pay for.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, and like I said, you know, that's why I always look at it and stuff for the vendors. I tell the vendors, you know, what you guys are paying for your tables, which is only $125 for 2 days, you know, is paying to bring in the tables and the chairs for the vendors area and the panel areas and any electronics, any promotions and stuff we're doing. You know, that's where your money is going. It's not going into my pocket, you know, because for me, I'm always like, hey, all I want to do is break even. You know, I want to give everybody a good time and not be in debt. And so that's my viewpoint and stuff as far as running the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. And like I said, you know, we try to give as much as we can, you know, to the fans. Because like I said, it's for people who don't have the money to pay to go see all these guests.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, but, you know, just throw it out there. And Atipo Thomas. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she was in the latest
Color Purple.
Yep.
And she was in Hawkeye, and she was in Black Lightning, and she was in a few other things. Plus, she's also a director and producer herself. So we've got her coming to the show because she's a fan and actually has to be one of my customers. All right. We've got Lauren Brown. Lauren Brown has been coming to the expo as a vendor for years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And unfortunately and stuff, you know, fortunately for her, but unfortunately for the rest of us, you know, she left Atlanta for a while to go work at a whole bunch of animation and video studios and going out there winning Emmys. Now she's back in town. And one of her basic claims to fame right now, besides being, you know, an award-winning, you know, artist, is that she is an art director for Wizards of the Coast, which, as some of you might know, produces Dungeons and Dragons and also Magic the Gathering. So if there's anyone and stuff who wants to find out what an art director is looking for, you definitely want to come to the show. then like I said, another person and stuff, and somebody I've known for like many years, and is also a legend in comics, is Don Hillsman. He's coming and gonna join us. And he's worked for Marvel, he's worked for DC, he's worked for CrossGen, he's worked with tons of different companies. And he's gonna come and share his knowledge and stuff with us. And then a proof to his talent and greatness, one of the people that he helped bring into the field that I've known from when he worked at the warehouse at Capitol Records, which was not Capitol Records, Capitol Comics, which was a distributor for comic books, is Dexter Vines. And all of us who are in the comics know all of the stuff he wants to work at. You guys want to name some of them yourselves to show your comic knowledge?
I will leave that to y'all because I'm more along video games and anime and costumes, so I'll let y'all have that.
That dude over there would know more than me because my comics reading is sporadic, like once every 20 years.
Okay, did you read Superman, Batman?
No.
Did you read Marvel Civil War?
Years later, yes. Like when the trade came out is when I read it.
Okay. Well, we'll get with you later. You definitely need to come to some panels and stuff so we can get your knowledge up. But yeah, those are just some of the people and stuff we've got coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got guests, but like I said, there's nobody and stuff who's breaking the break.
Gotcha.
Cool.
All right. That was the question.
You'll also run into several of these guests at the ball. So
they've all said that they're coming to the ball.
Cool.
So if you want a chance, to boogie with a movie star, come on down.
Just make sure you show up in your best semi-formal cosplay or dresses, because please do not make me turn you away because you decide to show up in t-shirts and sneakers. Don't do it to yourself. I will turn you away. The Interorbital Council is not going to have it. They just won't.
That being said, Tony actually.
All right, so what if I come in an alien costume and I put a bow tie on the alien? Does that work?
I mean, this depends. Will this alien have pants? Will we be able to see anything that should not be seen without the covering of pants?
Before you wait, let me throw this out there because Tony actually answered the question I was going to ask him about guests coming to the show. So let me ask you, Ms. Cunningham, what will be the dress requirements for the ball?
So it either needs to be cosplay or semi-formal, preferably a combination of both. So if you decide to show up as Farina from Genshin Impact, absolutely, come on in. But if it's a graphic tee, and I do not care how nice this graphic tee is, and I have seen some very, very nice graphic tees. I actually just bought my husband one back in, like that. But I actually just bought my husband one back at MegaCon that's basically a New York version of a One Piece character that says, "Yo ho, Brooklyn. Do not show up in this. I will turn you away."
Now,
but yes. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, since you brought up One Piece, and I know I'm going to get clowned for this because I'm probably going to mispronounce his name. Showing up as Luffy. With that, I'm sorry, say it again, James.
Luffy,
thank you, because I've only seen a couple episodes of One Piece. It didn't do anything for me. Would that be an acceptable costume? Because it's a costume, but you got stuff showing that I don't,
I mean, Luffy wears jorts and a vest and a straw hat and sandals. Technically clogs, but
yeah, he might have to formula it up a little bit.
Right, I am afraid he is going to have to form that up a little bit because the Grand Interorbital Council might have some issues with that. I don't want to see them call one of the guards to disintegrate them at the door. Let's not do that.
But per se, a Shinigami from Bleach would be acceptable, right? Because I mean, their uniforms.
Is he in his formal samurai wear?
I'm sorry?
Is he in his formal samurai wear?
I mean, all their wear is formal. Their garb is formal in and of itself.
Then yes, I will allow this. Okay. On behalf of the Interorbital Council, I will allow this.
All right, cool. But showing up in the orange onesie as Goku, not so much.
No, unless this is an orange tux or a very nice orange suit that just happens to have that symbol on the back, or even on the the tux shirt. That's cool. But do not show up in these graphic tees. I will turn you away. The Grand Interorbital Council is not having it. They're just not.
Vegeta says his battle armor is ceremonial, so
I mean, Vegeta is also a prince. So we're not gonna argue with the prince. I would assume as a prince, he knows how to show up to a formal ball. I don't care if you are a Saiyan. It is very clear that you guys had some type of formal thing. So I would assume as a prince, he would know how to show up. Worst case scenario, Bulma will drag him back and be like, "You're not effing wearing this. No, you're not about to get out here and embarrass me with that. No, get your tail back in here and put on this pink suit."
That being said,
Haven't I seen Vegeta with cufflinks? For some reason, I seem to remember an image of Vegeta with cufflinks.
Was it fan art?
Yeah,
though?
but Vegeta knows how to dress.
does
Was
he?
it-
Exactly.
But Tony, was it fan art or was it legit canon art?
If they have statues out there with him in his white tux getting married to Bulma, then I'm gonna call it canon.
I mean,
Okay.
that marriage is always assumed, so
I mean, I would sincerely hope that they were married, considering everything they've been through at this point.
I've seen what Bulma does to people. I'm not questioning anything about her marriage. If she says they're married, I'm taking her at her word.
Bulma also claims that she's still 26.
I'm not questioning that either.
I mean, I also would not question that, considering the amount of power that woman holds. No, thank you. It's whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be. Be what you want to be.
I am a large black man. I am not about to be drugged by that tiny little woman. Nope. If she says she's 26, that's good enough for me.
Oh no,
So-
she'll stuff you in a capsule first. Then she'll drag you.
No. But all of that being said, if people will there be, like any other convention, there are always all the rules and regulations and stipulations and things of that nature. Will all of this be information that people can visit the website and answer any other questions that they may have?
Yes. And if there are other questions that may not be on the website, shoot us a message. There should be an email on that page to shoot questions if you do have any other questions. Or again, you can shoot a question at info@atlantascifiexpo.com.
Cool.
Oh, and one of the things that I just realized is that we have been talking about, there will be gaming at this convention. All right, there will be a game room. All right, so there will be board games, collectible card games, and role-playing games.
Okay.
So I can't bring my PC and we have like LAN gaming?
Oh, yes, you can. There's actually, we are securing some contracts right now for some video gaming.
Oh.
I'm just kind of like, weighing, the options that we have.
Right, I got you.
But there will
Like
be
you said
video
earlier.
gaming at the show.
Yeah. Cool.
So like I said, basically everything you can get at those more expensive cons, we will have at the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo.
But since it's free, that means you have more money to spend on the vendors and the items that the vendors will bring.
And to buy tickets to the ball.
And buy tickets to the ball, absolutely. Because again, that free 99 frees up some extra money.
If it's free, it's for me.
Go.
Oh man.
Now, Tony, I know this is always a big question for people attending conventions, whether it's free or you pay. Food. What is, for food vendors? I know in the past you had also the Maid Cafe. What are we looking like for food vendors for those that are coming to the convention for the expo?
Well, right now and stuff, here in the mall, as far as food is concerned, we've got, an American Deli. All right. We've also got a Tokyo Express, which for $10, they feed you. You're talking, you can get like 2 meats and a veggie, or 2 veggies and a meat, or a veggie and a veggie and a veggie. Whatever floats your boat, they can hook you up. And like I said, their plates are only like $10. And you know, like as you can see, you know, I'm not a small man, but I don't even get the $10 plates. I get the little children's meals, you know, when I go and get my food, you know. So we've got
But before or after, we have
Plus,
to remind you to eat, sir.
You always got to remind me to eat, but you know, and then upstairs, y'all remember the Dugan's bar that was down on Ponce de Leon?
Yeah.
That we all used to hit when we got through clubbing back in the day?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you do.
I was a good
That
standing
bar-
college student.
That bar is now upstairs right here at North Lake Mall.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Is it just the
And
bar?
like I
They
said, you
didn't
know,
bring.
we're still working out some deals and stuff too, where everyone and stuff who's like registered for the con will be able to get like a special badge, and we're working on some discounts for the food for you guys too. So yes, you're not gonna have to worry about going out and getting a $6 hot dog, you know, and then you know paying like $15 to add some chips and a drink to it. There will be affordable food right here on location. Plus, there's actually a convenience store here. So if you just want some light refreshments and some chips or some candy bars, all that stuff is already here ready for you. And like I said, I have warned the vendors, because I remember the second time that we did the Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo over at North DeKalb Mall, the vendors, not the vendors, but the food vendors there in the food court literally ran out of food. So I
That's a
made
good
sure
problem to
that
have.
I have warned, you know, the people, you know, here at this mall to be, you know, ready for a rush of people.
Because being there all day, we're gonna need food.
Well, you know, you can always starve yourself during the day, and then that way and stuff you can just pig out at the ball, you know.
But we still got Sunday.
I mean, I have no control over Sunday. I said I can feed you on Saturday. I couldn't say I was going to do anything on Sunday. Wait a minute. Wait a
Wow.
minute. Now you
remember
overpromising.
remember, you know, you go ahead and you get your room. So, because basically we got the ball till 11 o'clock,
Mhm.
and then we move the after party to Marlowe's Tavern.
Okay.
And Marlowe's Tavern is pretty much like, as long as the liquid is flowing, they going.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, you know, after you finish getting your party on at the after party, you know, you going up to your room, get a good night's sleep, wake up in the morning, then you come down for that free Americana breakfast.
Okay.
Because you're going to be hungry. I will make sure of it.
All right.
All righty then.
Well, we got 7 minutes till we're at the top of the hour. Furious, do you have another question for our guests?
Not at the moment, no.
How unfortunate. You know what? It's okay. I'm not afraid of it anymore. You don't scare me.
Good.
You
'cause
say,
I've got one of
I'm
those.
here
I've got one, but it's actually a tool
playing in
chest.
the background.
Good, because I'm not gonna run to chase you.
We real big and bad now. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. All right. Bring it, bro. I'm here for it. Bring it. Come on.
Oh, actually, there is a question I do have, since you have mentioned several times about feeding us on
Yes.
Saturday.
Why, yes.
Will any of the food options be themed in any way, or is it just going to be, you know, traditional, plain old, here's some food, get your grub on?
I mean, as much as I would love to give you delectable treats, i.e., what was that one drink from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? What was it? The Gargle Blaster? No, Gargle Blast was the last part of it. But the one that tastes like a brick to your brain wrapped around lemon. I would, if I could, have those drinks there, but unfortunately, the hotel said that we can't bring that stuff in. We have to use theirs. So unfortunately, it's going to be boring cuisine, i.e. the Southern Station. So you'll have chicken and waffles, biscuits and gravy. There will also be spring rolls. There will be turkey meatballs. We'll also have fruit platters. We'll have vegetable platters. Again, we will feed you. We will feed you nicely. We'll even have pigs in a blanket. And for our friends that don't eat pork, we made sure that they are beef pigs in a blanket. So there's something for everyone.
Cool.
There you go.
And since you mentioned drinks, there will be a bar.
Yes.
Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not Daddy Warbucks, so I'm not paying for your drinks. You got to take care of that yourself. But I'm paying for the bartender.
I don't know
So he
any
is there
time
for
that
you.
you get your drinks for free.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's awful
Or
true.
the water in the convention room.
I mean, I make my own pie. I got like 8 jars, and I mean, I have like 1 jar.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drink the rest of them. They were just kind of there, and it just looks so good. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I will replace those. I promise. I will replace them.
Can't take y'all nowhere.
Exactly, which is why I'm holding my own event. That's why I'm holding a ball, because you can't take me nowhere. But that's okay.
Okay then.
Oh God!
Oh, I forgot stuff too. There's so much stuff going on. Is that one of our panel tracks is going to be a steam track? All right. And so there's going to be stuff going on with that. We're going to have like an award show and everything going on. And we're actually working with Emory with this, because for those who don't know, here on the premises is an art and science gallery that's sponsored by Emory.
Okay.
And we'll actually be holding some panels and award shows right there in their location.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just about to ask anything, other activities or contests that will be going on. So thank you for bringing that up.
Like I said, there's so much stuff going on. There's so much going on. You know, I don't even know half the stuff that's going on.
That's why
But
you delegate, sir. That's why
People
you
can
delegate.
always visit the website.
Yes.
This is
Check it
also
out.
true.
Right down there.
And if people want to do panels, Tanya is still taking applications for people to do panels. Because you know how she usually does and stuff. You know, a whole bunch comes in and she cultivates and merges and makes sure that we can have, you know, the best, you know, product that we can possibly have. So if you have ideas for panels, we still can take those applications.
Oh, also, word of warning, VIP is already over half sold out, because the tickets are limited and we're already over half sold out. So I do not know how much longer the VIP tickets are going to last. So if you want guaranteed food, you know, guaranteed feed you, because alas, if you're not VIP, yes, you are a peasant, and the peasants will get whatever else is out there at first come, first serve. If you do not want to starve with the rest of the peasants, go ahead and get your tickets.
Not the rest of the peasants. Okay.
Right. So wait, so if I buy a VIP ticket, can I come and get food from the VIP and then take it out to the peasants?
No.
Oh, okay.
If you want to give away your food, go for it.
Give. Oh no. Give.
Sir,
just
have
wanna
you seen
walk
the
out
price
to the
of food?
peasants
Who
and
is
say-
giving away food?
Right.
No, he
I'm
just
go-
want to
I'm-
show off what he's eating to the
No,
peasants.
I'm gonna
That's what
use
he
that.
wants to
I'm gonna
do.
use that to pay for my VIP ticket.
Oh, did we get a chance to mention the photo shoots for everybody who's VIP? Did you talk
That's
about
what I
that?
was
I
going
don't
to ask
remember.
next about photo
Oh.
shoots.
Oh, yes. So there will be photo backdrops. We will have a photographer on site to provide free photos to all VIP. So all VIP will get 2 free photos of their choice with their ticket from the photographer. We also allow them in early so that they can take those photos and not have to worry about trying to stand in line for whatever backdrop they prefer to have. So yes, absolutely. 2 free photos for all VIP.
Nice.
And unfortunately, they're not letting me shoot. So, you know, you'll have like somebody who's better than me.
We have reasons for that.
Oh gosh.
You know,
Good
We love you, but there is-
for the first 5 shows, I was official staff photographer. But,
I
I'm not going to
understand.
get a chance to do that this year.
No. We need you in the other place, actually running the con.
Yes. Yes.
We need you to actually run the con. I do not want to leave that to anyone else. That is all you.
Yeah.
Oh man, awesome sauce.
So Tony, you mentioned about photo shoots at the con and the stairs you're having. If someone's interested in doing a group shoot, do people sign up similar to like for group shoots like they do at other conventions to make sure, you know, timing with the stairs and spacing and everything? Or what is the plan for like cosplay shoots and group shoots?
Okay. Now, I don't want to get myself in trouble. All right. But I was saying that you should submit it as a panel. Tanya has informed me that is not the best way to do it. All right. So just put it in the panels. We'll work it out.
You know you're gonna
Tanya,
regret saying that when she sees
that
this,
is
right?
by Tony, not none of us that else is on this show.
We are not involved.
Whatever Tanya says goes. I ain't getting in trouble.
On behalf of the Intergalactic Council, we are not involved.
I just do as I'm told.
I said we might put up a separate link for that, but you know, just so it's like on the radar for right now, you know, put it in the panels and you know we'll move it somewhere later. Like I said, because I know that Mark Leary had already put in a few different proposals for photo shoots on the stairs.
Nice.
And I actually have no idea how many he put in for.
Knowing him, it's probably a good 8 to 10
Yeah.
Per day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough hours on Saturday for that to happen. So things will be pared down. Like I said, you know, at the beginning of the day, we're basically going to have it and stuff where that area could be used for group photo shoots. But I know that we're doing both the costume contest and also the fashion show in that same area.
Okay.
And possibly one more event.
Cool.
But Sunday's open. And that's one of the reasons stuff too is that, you know, by us doing and getting a hotel this time to work with us, you know, because I know a lot of cosplayers like, you know, to change clothes multiple times, you know, throughout the show. So you got your walking around costumes, all right, and then you know you got your costume for the costume contest, you know, your costume for the fashion show, and your costume for the ball. All right, so that's a minimum of 3 right there. And you know, there's plenty of other excuses. You know, you might want to do a different costume for the after party,
or
you know,
however many multiple photo shoots. Or photo shoots.
Yes.
Photo shoots.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am notorious for changing into 3 or 4 costumes per day just to make photo shoots. So yeah.
I know.
Okay. Oh, I'm talking to him about doing an extension while we're talking about the hotel rooms. All right. Right now, all right, we've got the block saved up where we've got like, you know, 30 double kings and 30 double queens. Right now, the hotel is holding those blocks for us until February 21st.
Okay.
All right. So
10 days, y'all. 10 days.
10 days. You know, unfortunately and stuff, when you're dealing with hotels, they want to get their money up front.
Yes.
Because as we all know, some shows get canceled. All right. And, you know, they'll be straight with you and stuff. You know, we got to like the 21st for the hotel rooms. And then I basically have to pay them for everything with the ball on March 1st.
Okay.
All right. So they want all their money 2 weeks before the ball.
The ball. Yeah.
So like I said, I know a lot of y'all and stuff gonna have a little bit of money. You know, it's going to be tied up, you know, for Valentine's Day coming up.
Who?
What's that?
Valentine's Day.
I know. What's that?
Never heard of it.
Okay. Hey,
I,
lucky
I,
you.
mm,
I don't know what you're talking about.
So Tony, just to be clear, for anybody who may not be hearing what you're saying, what you're telling us is if you go tomorrow and make your hotel reservation, they're not just going to use your credit card to reserve it. They're going to charge your card for your room tomorrow when you make your reservation.
Oh,
I'm
no.
I'm
For
looking at the
No.
us,
site right now. Your reservation will be held until 6 p.m. the day the day
It-
before check-in.
Mhm.
You have free cancellations until 11:59 p.m. on March
Okay.
11th. After that, if you cancel, you will have to pay a cancel fee, but you get
Okay.
charged once you check in. I confirmed that on the website.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because when Tony said they wanted all their money up front, that threw me off just a little bit. So I wanted to make it clear for anybody else who was listening.
well, like I said, basically after the 21st, those room block deals and that free breakfast go away.
Gotcha.
So you need to reserve your room before
Yeah.
February 21st.
Okay, and then I'm gonna put my event planner hat on. Basically, what Tony is talking about is he with these room blocks, even with other conventions, they're obligated to sell so many rooms. If he doesn't consume those rooms or they get booked, the convention has to pay for the difference. So that's where the paying comes from. But of course, if you book after the deadline, like he said, you will not get all the freebies that he negotiated with this room block.
Cool.
I better go reserve my room tonight then.
There
yes,
you go.
get your free breakfast. Be fed, my friend. Don't be like these peasants out here.
And remember and stuff, if you're properly partying hard at the ball, you don't want to drive home.
Nope.
Please
You
don't.
don't even want to try to drive to another hotel.
Nope.
No.
You just want to go and hit a button and drive that elevator.
Yep.
Oh, but then again, I just forgot. Guess what?
Shuttle.
We have reserved the rooms on the first floor, so you don't even have to drive the elevator. You can go from the ball straight to your room.
Yes.
Cartwheels down the hallway.
Unfortunately, in my younger days, attending stuff like Dragon Con, many a times I pull I've got a room over at the Marriott Marquis. All right, so we have prepared things for you. All right, we have made things easy for you. Make sure you come and get your party on.
Yes, come eat this food.
So, as you heard, you're gonna get fed at the hotel if you get a hotel room. If you get your VIP tickets for the intergalactic ball, you're gonna get fed there. You get to go to the con for the free 99, be able to spend more with the vendors, over 60 vendors. So yes, and then because it's right there in the mall, you can beeline over to challenges, games, and comics to buy some comics and some other goodies right there. Isn't that
I
right,
forgot
Tony?
I had the store here.
Tony, at this point,
Yes.
do you still have space on your committee if there are people who would still like to volunteer and help?
Oh, yes.
There's no
Yes.
such thing as too many volunteers.
The more we can spread it
At
out,
any convention.
the better. And see, that's one of the problems and stuff about having a show that's free to the public. With the larger conventions, they're pretty much like, oh, if you come volunteer, we'll let you in for free. And you get to save, $100 to $200. But since our show is free, I don't have that carrot. So, we actually just need people and stuff who just want to help out of the goodness of their heart.
It's a good networking opportunity.
Absolutely, that's
how I look at it.
Yes. and it's
Oh, definitely.
I call it a warm-up convention to get ready for con season. Like if you haven't gone to any out-of-state conventions that are earlier in the year, this is your starter convention for Atlanta for me. It's like go to Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo, get that weekend in, and then you start getting ready for that whole con season. That's your starter con for for the con year here in Atlanta.
Oh, and it actually works really good for panels too, because it's like really funny and stuff. I'm sitting there and stuff, and I'll look at like the panel descriptions and stuff at like Dragon Con and MomoCon, and I'm like, they did that panel at the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo first. So it gives you, the perfect opportunity to work the kinks out,
Yes.
before you, get up there to little bigger time.
Cool.
Exactly. Any further questions, Furious James, for B. Cunningham, Cosplay, or Tony?
Nah.
I'm good.
Also,
All
I
right.
don't
But
want
okay.
B. Cunningham coming after me.
Why would you say such a thing? I am probably one of the sweetest cosplayers you'll ever meet.
That doesn't mean you
Look
won't
at
chase
me
after
like
people.
that.
That doesn't mean you won't beat people up.
I mean, no, if you come at me, that's a whole different story. But if we just on the street,
It
y'all
just
just
beat
happen
them
to
with
see
a
me.
smile.
Bulma seems sweet and nice until you cross her, and then she ain't sweet and nice no more.
Hence, I said, do not come at me. Just don't come at me.
Mhm.
See, I'm prepared.
Again, I am no longer afraid of you, sir. Bring it with
I'm
the
prepared.
hammer. I got
I'm
something for that.
prepared.
It's all right.
This ain't
As
the
a good, as
and
a
since
good
this is
quote said,
intergalactic, since we're
ahead.
intergalactic, this is not the only Mjolnir you're going to get hit with.
Again,
Jeremy?
do you think I am afraid of this? I have the Grand Interorbital Council behind me. I fear nothing that you could possibly throw at me. What you want, buddy? Let's do this.
Bet.
B. Cunningham said, as the famous quote goes, "Try Jesus, not her."
But I will throw such hands.
Yes.
Oh, real quick for you comic fans, this comes out tomorrow.
Doom.
Yes. One World Under Doom. I've read half of it so far. You want to get it.
Okay.
I still got 4 boxes of comics I haven't read in the last 7 years.
Yikes.
You need to hurry up.
Okay, hold it. Everybody has at least one porcelain reading room in their home.
There you go.
If you're not using it, you're not in the reading room long enough.
So as we've discussed, sir, many times that I've been in your shop, I also play video games.
In the porcelain reading room, you play video games?
No, I play
What
video
is it for?
games. I play video games, period, which is why I don't have the time I desire to read my comics and my manga.
Well, that's why he said you used the porcelain reading room.
Yes, you use the porcelain reading room.
I don't need to be in there that long.
Sounds like you should play
Everybody needs to be in there that long.
Sounds like you should play fewer video games.
You think that? But I take people
for
on field trips
everybody's
sometimes.
protection, no, let him play his video games. He needs his outlet.
No, he's got to get that backlog of comics finished.
Eventually, I will finish reading Moon Girl, Miles Morales, Champions, Shuri, Riri, Wasp.
Okay, it doesn't sound
Naomi.
like you're a big DC fan, but if you're not reading it, I would definitely suggest you need to be reading Absolute Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman. And strangely enough, I actually think that the Absolute Wonder Woman story is going to be the best story in the long run.
Well, I do have one DC series that I'm reading, and it's Naomi.
Yes.
So that
Naomi doesn't have a book out right now.
I know that's again, you missed the part of me being behind.
Okay.
I finished reading her first series. I started reading her second series. I haven't finished it, and I know they're only 6 issues each.
Yeah, get
Read
in that
Absolute
foursome
Batman.
reading room.
I will get to them eventually. Look, I'm almost done with Black Lagoon. And then the only thing I have left to read is One Punch Man, as far as my manga. Unfortunately, One Punch Man is still ongoing. But I finished Bleach. I finished Attack on Titan. I read Hellsing. See, baby steps.
We're proud
It's
of
okay,
you.
friend. You are doing better than me. I spend all my time sewing, so it's okay.
Hurry up.
Sir, I know you ain't playing with your backlog of shows that you have yet to watch.
Hey, I've started though.
Nocturne?
That's this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What's
But you
Nocturne
started.
streaming on?
Netflix. Castlevania
Okay.
Nocturne.
Oh, that's the newest one.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, season 2 just came out last month.
Okay, I'm still watching that one. I only think I'm on like 4 episodes in.
Well, season 1? Yeah, it says season 1 was year before last.
I watched season 1,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking I might have to go back and watch it again, or at least watch a couple of the last ones because they're so far apart that I forgot where I left off on.
Yep.
And I get confused.
Mm-hmm.
That's on purpose. It's to increase the views, just to say, yeah, look at how many times they looked at both seasons. Knowing good and well, it's because we had to backtrack because I don't remember what happened.
And that's what I'm waiting till after Friday to watch the final season of Cobra Kai, because that's when part 3 drops.
Cobra
still
Kai is
happening?
still on?
Final season.
Final season.
Final season,
Wow.
part 3 drops Friday.
Yep.
What else is there to talk about and do?
And that's what I was waiting on. Because when they said final season is going to be 3 parts, I said, screw you guys. Let me know when part 3 drops, and then I will watch the final season.
Can I ask a question about Cobra Kai?
That's close to my heart, Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Since they actually, filmed at Challenges Games and Comics.
Yes. I do remember the first couple of seasons had scenes there. Yes.
I do have a question.
And we actually
about
got them addicted
part
to
of that,
Magic the
though.
Gathering.
Go ahead, B. Cunningham.
Okay, so we all remember the scene. Well, there were several scenes where they were all just fighting, but we all remember the scene where somehow, some way, they all ended up in what's his name's house, and you're fighting in these people's houses. You mean
The
to tell
LaRusso
me
house?
nobody's parents caught wind of this? Because truth be told, there wouldn't be a tournament because all of y'all happy tails would be on punishment fighting in my house like that. I'm just saying. I am just saying.
Stuff, that privilege. It's that privilege.
So understand that group fights have taken place in the LaRusso household, the high school, the local water park, the local mall. Thanks, Tony. So anywhere the two groups, the Cobra Kai dojo, the Miyagi dojo,
Which again, how are we having a tournament? Because after you done got in trouble this many times, and I done had to hear about you come home talking about, oh yeah, I got in a fight. Like, I hate to sound like this, but I refuse to accept that your black parents caught wind of you fighting in somebody's house, caught wind of you fighting at school, caught wind of you fighting at a water park, and you
Isn't
still
there only 2 black kids in the entire show?
exactly. And how were they in the tournament? Because again, let that have been me.
yeah, there are.
Been me.
Any of our parents would have taken us
There
right
is
on
the
out.
one young lady, so that might be 3.
Well, no, they wrote her out after season 2.
Ah.
She's really sweet. I actually met her at Ranger Pop and Stop last year.
Yeah, she came back. I want to say she had a scene back in season 4 or 5 that they brought her back to interact with LaRusso's daughter, but that was it because everyone was kind of confused when season 3 started. And it was like, where was she? But yeah, they really like wrote her out in one line for some nonsense that was unjustified.
It was too many black people, and it was becoming a black show.
She was the only black person on the show at the time.
Oh,
and before they brought in the 2 brothers.
okay, gotcha.
Who again
That's why
should
they
not
brought
have
her
been
out. They
at the
bring in the
tournament
two brothers.
after all of that. I'm serious. there would have been no tournament. All of you would have been on punishment. No, we ain't having no tournament. In fact, shut this dojo down right now. You already see what
Actually,
this is
no,
doing.
you're right. There are 3 young black boys on the show now.
So again, if we go back to something that Mr. McDuffie said, once you've got 3, it becomes a black show. To paraphrase, so Cobra Kai is now a black show.
Well, hey, I loved his Justice League Unlimited.
It really
If
was.
that's a black
amazing.
show, I'm all with it. Justice League
Yep.
Unlimited
That
was
part.
awesome.
Yeah. No, wait, no. I'm sorry. He didn't say it. Critics of it were saying that there were too many black people, and that made it a black show. That's what it was. It wasn't him saying it. He was talking about the critics who said
The
it.
industry deems it that way, that if you have 3 black characters, all of a sudden it's a black book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, before I discovered Challenges and was getting my comics at a different comic store, that was during the time that what was it? Was it Amazing Avengers that had Blade, Falcon, and that team? And everybody who came in that time when I was there said, I want to get the Black Avengers book. Like, you remember that run, don't you, Tony?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, it was Blade, it was Falcon, Spectrum. I can't think of who else was on that team, but that was a good run. But yeah, they all came in and said they wanted the Black Avengers book.
Well, speaking of which, did you guys read Sam Wilson, Captain America #1? Okay, you've got to pick it up because it's got the barbecue cookout scene.
Yeah.
As in, like, who all is coming to the cookout?
Right, like were people
going to
legitimately
come to
invited
the
to this
cookout?
cookout?
Like,
All
wait,
right, yes,
the fan
they've
art
got the
scene,
cookout. I
fan
give you a
art-
slight spoiler. It's Isaiah Bradley's birthday.
Ooh.
Okay, and so everybody turns out for his party at the cookout, and you get to see Luke Cage on the grill.
So wait a
Okay.
minute.
If
So
you don't have that book, I suggest you pick up that book. It's
wait. So the fan art that had been circulating on the net for years has made it into the actual comic. Oh, that's wonderful.
Nice.
That is freaking amazing.
All right.
I'll be making a road trip to your shop this weekend, good sir.
Okay. I'm surprised you guys hadn't seen the pages on social media already.
I use social media to keep up with sports and other nefarious activities.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that the actor for the upcoming Captain America has been going around with to the comic book shops and just popping up, autographing copies of it. So, Tony, please let us know if he's coming.
Mackey's just randomly showing up, autographing stuff?
Yes.
Huh.
Nice.
Has
Yeah.
he made it down south yet? I don't think he's
I
made
don't
it down
know.
south yet.
He's already done a good 15 shops so far, and it's nothing formally announced. He just shows up. He shows up at a comic book shop and he's autographing and giving away free copies that he's paid for himself of Captain America to everybody there, and he autographs it.
Wait, did they
Nice.
not film? Did they not film that one down here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully he'll be down here soon. And Tony, let us know.
Oh, I will. Trust me, I will.
That's if they
We'll
let Tony
act
know.
surprised that he showed up. Oh my God!
He may not even tell
James
Tony. He may
Furious,
just show
look who
up.
is here! Oh my God!
Oh, man. All right.
But awesome. So of course, as y'all heard, go ahead and pick up those comics that recently came out. If you you do not have to be local to be able to come to Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. Make sure you get your hotel room by February 21st. Go to the link as you see in your comments and also on the screen.
Just reserve it so we look good,
And go to the little hamburger, the 3 lines in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see a little drop-down box that will show up, and you'll see information on to submit for a panel, for being a vendor, to volunteer, to get your hotel room, and the interdimensional ball. All that right there. So make sure you get your information and make sure you, even though it's for free, get your free tickets. Make sure you sign up so they can know how many people's coming. And of course, buy your VIP and ball tickets also to attend.
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized I'm actually going to have to cosplay for the second time to go to the ball.
It would be highly appreciated. I mean, I'm willing to make an exception, but it would be appreciated.
Or wear a suit.
Like I'm saying, I mean, Blade's back in style anyway. So yeah, come on, people.
Well, I mean, Tony, think about it.
I have the Blade costume still. Unfortunately, I can't fit into it anymore.
Tony,
I mean,
or just
you say this to a cosplayer that competes in craftsmanship. You say this to me. I am mildly insulted.
Tony,
it made her feel like you slapped her on the face. The two slaps.
I'm hurt, Tony.
With
hurt,
baby
man.
powder.
I'm so hurt.
He said baby powder?
With the baby powder.
Well, you only get some baby powder, some Spanx, and yeah. Now I think I need to be able to breathe.
You can always order a tri-lamb sweater,
or just get you a tux and come as tuxedo mask.
I mean, that is also very, very within theme.
Yep.
I mean, we need people coming from that dimension anyway. There will be people from all the dimensions. So this is highly appropriate. Absolutely.
I'll see what I can come up with.
Okay.
I mean, you guys kind of already see it in the background, partially what we got here. Ignore the headpiece, but the hair is definitely coming to the ball.
And that's the right color to have, too.
Yes, purple.
Yes, you guys get to meet Nyx the Space Fairy, which is actually one of my newest cosplays. So, haha, sneak preview.
Nyx the Space
Okay.
Actually, I think I've got some purple wigs around here,
Yeah.
So I'll see what I can do.
Oh, I'm definitely getting pictures of that.
So are you going to have somebody walking around with the wind machine so it's just flowing, as you're walking?
I mean, I wasn't going to get a handler for it, but now that you have put this idea in my head, now I got to find a handler.
Of course,
I know.
We're going to need
gotta
one for you and Tony. Y'all got to have both y'all handlers.
That's true. That's true. This is the other reason why Tony's not going to be able to snap pictures at this ball, because we gonna need too many other things.
Yes.
But yes,
I'm
that
for the convention. You shouldn't be doing nothing else.
True. Also make sure that he's well fed, since somebody tends to forget to eat. I don't know how, I don't know why. In the mall with a food court, and somehow you still forgetting to eat. We got to work on that, friend. We need to work on that.
Like I said, I'm not fat because I eat all the time. My metabolism just slowed down that much. It's like, unfortunately, I done got old. See, I'm so old. You guys are doing podcasts. I'm so old. I had a community access TV show called Sci-Fi Atlanta. And I used to go around and stuff to like Dragon Con and stuff like that and interview Nichelle Nichols and Todd McFarlane and, the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This man said community access show.
Yes, Sci-Fi Atlanta. Community access TV. Me and Tanya used to go down right over there where it used to be off of Ponce de Leon near the train station.
Okay.
Community access.
See, old school.
That's what's up.
I see that.
When I learned photography, we had to do it with film, and there was no Photoshop. We had to get it right the first time.
Well, most of the time, yeah, you didn't find out until you developed it. I had to go through that myself.
Ooh, don't accidentally overexpose that film.
Yes.
Oh no!
Or somebody
I had to do the contact sheets so you can look at them. and look at them with the little scope to see which ones you actually want to try to film.
Only camera I got. I ain't messing around with that other nonsense. That's all I got. I ain't trying to do nothing special.
But at the same time, though, it is so crazy how technology has come along as far as just camera technology on its own. Where I remember where if you had a camera that had more than 5 megapixels, you was like really, really doing something. And now you have phones that have like what 2 to 3 times that, even more, depending on who you're with.
Yeah.
Like it is crazy. Because even when I was working for Canon, because I used to be a regional rep for Canon.
Word.
Even working for them, just watching how camera technology. Say what?
That's my camera. I'm a Canon girl.
Oh yes, hands down. Canon, love Canon. Love their printers too, because that was actually my specialty with Canon. But when I was their rep, we were still using the big thick memory cards, not these little tiny SDs that you got to have adapters and stuff for, but like the big thick ones. And good luck getting more than like 20 pictures on that thing.
Yeah. 'Cause that's at the time when the cards were 5 gigabytes.
Yep.
And 5 gigabytes was the max you can get. Most of them was like 256 megabytes.
Lord, and now we can actually fit like a whole terabyte in there now. Amazing.
I'm so old. I had a 14.4 external baud modem, and it was the fastest one in the neighborhood. My computer was blazing with 1 megabyte of memory.
Tony, I'm so old. My first internet connection was where you had the phone coupler, that like what they had in war games.
You mean when you took the handle and put it on there?
Yes, that was my first one.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I want to see pictures.
Because I had an uncle who worked for the government, so he made a little bit more money than the rest of the family, and he knew I was into to computers, or back then the computers that we had, and he got me that I was like, oh wait, I didn't even know what to do with it when I saw it. That's how new it was for me.
Wow.
I dare always tell everybody stuff. My high school got computers the year after I graduated, and they were Apple IICs.
Mm.
Well,
so when I went to school, we still had typing classes.
Same.
I did too.
Yeah.
Not keyboard, typing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nope. We had the old school manual typewriters where when you got to the end, you hit that little silver arm.
Okay.
None of us are spring chickens.
No, that's hilarious. My parents actually have both types of typewriters in the garage. The automatic one and the manual one. Oh my God.
Oh, the word processor. Yeah, that was fun.
Oh goodness.
That I managed to skip somehow.
It was basically just an electronic typewriter. That's all.
Actually, they had this itty bitty screen about that big.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember them.
So my first computer was a VIC-20. And I wasn't my first video game system. Well, actually, it was a game system
first computer
that just
was a
had
Tandy.
Pong on it. My first cartridge system was a 2600.
My first computer was a TRS-80.
Yeah.
From Radio Shack?
I had that Tandy from Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea where my father got my first computer from. It was an Apple, but I can tell you my first gaming cartridge system was the Magnavox and television.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Oh man, and that made me a Burger Time addict. Like, and I feel like nobody ever knows what I'm talking about when I talk about that game. And I knew it was an old game when it appeared in an app system on a phone in the early 2000s. And I'm like, there's no way this is the same game. There's no way. And sure enough, it is. The music and everything got little pickles and stuff chasing you. Yes. Oh my God. In between that Frogger, and Snafu. Those were my 3 favorite games on that system.
So what I think I hear everybody saying, we all just look good for our age.
Yes.
You're damn right I do.
When you have melon in your skin, yes.
Absolutely. The gray in my beard is spectacular.
I can't even grow a beard, dude.
I call it wisdom.
Yeah. I just got my 6th gray hair.
I just got my 2nd. It's all right.
Yeah,
And I didn't even discover it. My hairstylist discovered it.
Mine too.
I just
you can
got
see
my.
all this
I
is
don't
gone
know,
gray, and I
it's
don't even
too-
care.
I got my. It's too damn many to count. I don't know.
Now you sound like my husband.
My 5 o'clock shadow is gray.
You know what? Then I'm in good company because he is a very good dude.
That is true. That is true.
I'm in good company.
Yeah, and he's also the best cosplay handler out there. He really is.
All right. Well, with that.
Okay, hold
Oh, go
when
ahead.
do I get to come on a sports show and talk about the Hawks?
Next month.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's
Well,
our next episode.
Well,
Tomorrow I'll be watching the Hawks.
yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, see. So next month is probably going to be more basketball focused. Tomorrow's show, we are going to talk about the NBA because of all the trades that happened. And then after we're done with that for about 15 to 20 minutes, I'm choosing violence.
Violence, James? Why? Whatever do you mean?
I am choosing
know.
violence.
Clutching my invisible pearls.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes violence is the answer.
And it's not the answer, it's definitely the solution.
I just want y'all to remember that the next time I choose violence, just remember you said that.
You know, James don't care.
Yes, indeed. More violence. Yes.
Basically, I have chosen violence since 10 p.m., roughly 10:30 p.m. Sunday evening. The only difference is, and people should be commending me for this, I have not been on social media to express my violence yet.
I'm actually kind of surprised that you
Also
haven't.
unfortunate.
I've been
I say
very
you
subdued.
start tonight.
I've been very subdued. I haven't even done that much tonight. I didn't do anything much because Monday was pretty much watching all the talking heads going the apology tour.
Mm. No,
James,
what
I
you're
say
doing
you-
right now, James, is what I call your simmering, letting it get like really, concentrated for the violence, and then you're just gonna unleash. That's
I
basically
say we
what
get
it
him.
is.
I say we get him a spicy
Well,
cookie and
the
set him loose
apology
on the
tour.
internet.
What did I miss? What's the
Insert
apology
let
tour?
him cook meme.
What'd you say, Tony?
I said, what do you mean by the apology tour? What am I
Everybody
missing?
was always talking shit about how his quarterback wasn't the man, and now they've had to walk it back.
Mm-hmm.
The only one who like the clip that I saw earlier today was Stephen A, Ryan Clark, Shannon, and I forget who the 4th dude on that panel was. And Ryan Clark was pretty much giving everybody the business because you've been seeing all these clips of how everybody says he's not really the good quarterback. He's not going to be they essentially have said everything under the sun about this man not being a franchise quarterback.
Hold it. Point here. That Super Bowl was not about the quarterbacks. It was the offensive line and the defensive line.
I know.
I don't care who the Brady could have been the quarterback.
Jalen made some amazing.
Whoa! We're giving away too much.
Defensive line.
Save it for tomorrow. We're giving away too much. Save it for tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow.
We could just start the show early.
No. Tomorrow.
No, he wants it all in the show.
Tomorrow.
So, Tony, if you want to join the show, it's at 8:30 tomorrow. We'll send you the link if you want to join.
We'll see. I got to go and see if my Hawks can win 4 in a row.
Well, they're doing better than my Wizards.
Well, the Hawks aren't trying to tank.
Neither are the Wizards.
You care about
That's
that?
scary.
That's your story. You sticking to it?
Oh no, they're really not trying to tank because you can't tank when you already suck from day one.
Well, you said it, not me.
Exactly.
Oh, trust me, I know how bad my basketball team in DC is. They've been crap for pretty much since I was in high school, minus 5 years.
Which is really sad that the Hawks lost 2 games to them at the beginning of the year.
At the beginning of the season, yes. The first 2 wins they had was against Atlanta on back-to-back nights.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
And Atlanta slaps Boston and Cleveland around, but then loses to the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They said it's magic in that ball.
Needs to be magic in the franchise because any NBA player gets sent to play in Washington has pretty much been a death sentence for their career. This is where you don't want to go.
So you don't want to be a Wizard.
No.
I mean, that is where Jordan ended his career.
Dang.
Well, he also owned the team at the time.
And he was not a good owner.
This is disappointing me about Wizards. Wizards are supposed to be magical.
He was the owner at the time, yeah.
He was part owner of the team when he played.
And he couldn't bring any of that Jordan magic to the Wizards, hence the name of the team, the Wizards.
He was,
He was over 40 at that point.
Yeah.
So the Jordan magic couldn't rub off?
Not like
the name
LeBron
change doesn't really
40,
matter.
But like he was
technically they are the Washington Bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bullets is what, and not for bullets as in bullets and as in guns. They were named the Bullets because of the bullet train that went from DC up to New York.
Okay, because I definitely had some jokes for that, but I believe it.
No, it was because of the bullet train that went from commuted from DC to Philly to New York for people who telecommuted to those cities to work during the day and then would ride that train back home in the evening.
Tell that to Gilbert Arenas.
You shut your face. Why you gotta bring up old shit?
Tell that to Gilbert Arenas.
Why you gotta bring up old shit?
I'm just saying.
Well, hey, thanks for bringing us on, guys. It was fun.
Oh, yes.
You're welcome. Once again, everybody, don't forget, get your tickets. Definitely stop by and support challenges. If you're in the Atlanta area or coming through Atlanta, get some comics and goodies from challenges. And definitely mark your calendar to attend Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo.
The link is down there.
And of course, if you like doing panels, make sure you go ahead and sign up to get a panel. Get your warm up at Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo, so you can also do that same presentation at MomoCon, DragonCon, and all those other conventions too. So once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. Tune back in tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. for our Geek Speak on Sports with James Furious and our rest of our crew. And hopefully we'll have Tony join us. We'll see. We'll see if he'll join. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And everyone have a great evening. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. If this the land of the free, was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will. So if we put Hawaii in a perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, he was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.